Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. So I thought that I would come on and update about what has been going on, what is the next step, where we're at since the show. So a lot has happened since the show. And yeah, I'm just gonna basically run through a Dear Diary episode of kind of what's the crack and what's happening. So I have finished my season early, for multiple reasons, which I'm gonna obviously go through now. So yeah, the plan was obviously to do the France show and then do the British finals. That was the original plan for my season after obviously doing the first regional, which, you know, I knew that, I said on the last video, I knew that I wouldn't be in the condition of the figure criteria. It was something that I went into the show knowing. So obviously after getting off stage, I had a chat with Jake and I was like, I don't see any point in pushing to do the France show, which is obviously 2 weeks after, because I didn't think that, you know, when I'm stood in a lineup with people, like, I didn't think that it would be possible to bring the next level, if that makes sense, to that. So we had a chat backstage, and decided, obviously, right, we'll pull that one and we'll literally just go in for the British finals, the Gymshark British finals, which is not this weekend but the weekend after. So that was the plan. So day after the show, got straight back on plan, just did steps that day, then the next day straight back to cardio, straight back to work, straight back to business. Everything was fine. 4 days after that, I got really sick. I got some kind of bug, illness, who knows, maybe it was just my body saying this is enough. But yeah, I was really sick, actually in bed for 2 days, couldn't eat anything. When I could eat something, I was being sick, and I lost my head with that, basically, because I think when you've been so hyper focused on a goal, and bearing in mind, like, I started prep in March with a different coach, so I'd already swapped coaches mid prep, I'd already moved house. It was a long mental push in itself to even make it to that first show, because yeah, it was just being long. Like, it's been 7 months nearly, and where I'm like, I am very proud of the fact that I got up on stage and could see that I had made improvements from obviously the last time. I knew that it wasn't my best what I could bring. Like, I knew I could push more and bring more. So being sick and being ill and not being able to do everything what I needed to do, my head fell off. Like, it fell off. And like, I am somebody who, you know, is very much aware of mental health and the importance of mental health, and really, like, for a good couple of days after sort of getting myself back into the groove of things, or trying to anyway, like, my headspace was just not there. Like, it really wasn't there. Like, I found it difficult to talk to people. I found it difficult to do my job. Like, just general, like, just being myself wasn't there. Like, and it wasn't a very nice place to be, basically. And yeah, I picked up on that as one sign. Not only that, but before the regional show, I got told that I had to move house again. So I had that stress of having to try and figure out somewhere else to live. And, you know, anybody who knows moving house is a fucking stress in itself. Not when you're at the back end of prep, not when you've been told that you need to bring in more condition, not when you've just battled an illness. Like, it was just like, the line is here, and I was like tinkering on the edge of a nervous breakdown. I laugh about it, but it wasn't funny. So yeah, so there was that. There was that to play with. I was toying with the idea of, you know, like, am I going to be able to do this? And I think when you're at the end of a prep, if your mindset isn't switched on and you aren't fully in, then you're out. And I feel like that something, whatever happened in that week after, it really threw me to not be fully in, if that makes sense. And that was quite hard to process, for me personally, because I like to do my best, and I like to put in as much my all as I possibly can. So when that was kind of taken away from my headspace, it was quite challenging to process. And then I got my feedback from the judges. So not only was I already in a bit of a fragile state with, well, my confidence in myself, the feedback from the judges was that I still didn't meet the criteria for figure in terms of my legs were over dominant. Like, I've obviously got stage pictures in the lineup. I've stood next to Shelley, who won, and you know, like, she is massive, dense, beautiful shape. Everybody on that lineup was fantastic. And me looking at myself, I can see that my legs were a lot bigger than my top line, which is obviously not what they want in figure. So it was quite upsetting to me, because I think when you've spent a long time trying to mold yourself to a criteria and pushing and building, and obviously bodybuilding is a process that does take time, and you know, it's not going to be something that you just do in one off season, like, but they were basically said that, you know, my legs were too big or overpowering basically, and it took away from the upper body. And I know that even if I'd have come down more and pushed more, they're still going to be there. Like, I powerlifted for 5 years. Like, my legs were my strongest point. I was always the best at squats. They were my lift out of the three. Like, I've got a lot more muscle maturity and muscle mass in my quads compared to my shoulders and my lats, which is something that I've just developed over that last off season. So yeah, it was kind of a thought pattern of like, what do we do? Like, is there really any point in pushing and still getting the same outcome, and then really kind of jeopardizing my mental health even more? Because like, taking the hit of, you know, like, placings don't mean shit really. Like, I knew that I wasn't going to be going up there and winning, like, but like, to come last and then be told that you don't fit the class, like, was just, yeah, it stung. It stung is probably the only way to describe it. So yeah, I had a little bit of a think. Obviously, was very communicative with the people around me that I value, my coach, my friends, and yeah, made the decision to start reverse dieting. So I have actually been reverse dieting now for 2 weeks. and still treating it completely like a prep. Haven't had any off-plan meals, haven't had any treats. I've been 100% on it because, like, to me, the bodybuilding and the prep and everything is something that I absolutely enjoy. So it wasn't a case of like, I need to self-destruct, I need to go and binge and all that shit. Like, it wasn't like that. I've literally just been 100% kind of back on it. Because if anything, I've learnt lessons from where I started prep and how long I had to prep to get to where I was, and it's still not being enough. Like 28 weeks going into 30 weeks prep is a long time, and it's a long time to be mentally switched on, and it's a long time for your body. And I do find that I think getting sick was probably a sign that I had had enough, or my stomach was telling me to stop. Like, and I felt like I was under a lot of pressure with myself to not quit because I didn't want to quit, but it was like I was fighting against myself mentally and physically, emotionally, and then once I'd had that, made that decision, I felt like a weight had been lifted off my back. Like, I actually slept, I actually rested, and I just felt a little bit more clarity, like, in myself in making that decision. So yeah, so I have finished my season after one show. And with that being said, I am potentially going to attempt to change classes as well. So if I was to push figure even more, it would mean completely changing my training and lowering my training on my legs. And for me personally, training is where I love to be. Like, it's why I do this as well. Like, I love to train hard, and I love to train legs. And I think if I had to take that away just to try and fit into something, I wouldn't enjoy it. And I am in bodybuilding for the longevity. Like, I love it, and I like to, you know, be open and honest about, you know, why I make these decisions and, you know, where my thoughts are coming from. So we're going to be toying with the idea of moving into wellness. Now, I know I don't have glutes for wellness. I know, right? But I have got a lot of the other qualities already as a foundation. I've hit a couple of poses. I've been doing some poses. So since obviously we made this little decision discovery, shall we say, I've been doing some posing in that area as well. And yeah, I'm going to give it a go. So I am going to be moving out of figure and into wellness for my next off season. So my main goal for this is obviously to nail the reverse diet. So I have literally maintained my body weight since making that decision. It's going up daily. I've been checking in daily still. I've been doing my old training plan still, just keeping everything nice and light and moving. Cardio is out. Everything is kind of on the recovery side of things. So in order for me to set myself up in the best possible way to grow, I am continuing to treat this next month or so as the prep, to just make sure that I can get my calories as high as possible while still staying in as good body composition as possible. Like, I am still very lean. Obviously I know it's still early days, but compared to where I was when I last reversed, you know, I've had very like minimal weight gain. If anything, I did lose a little bit of weight, and then it's kind of leveled out again. So yeah, I will not be starting a prep again 25 kilos above stage weight. And I will be training lots and lots of legs and glutes and hams for the foreseeable, which probably going to bite me in the ass when I grow one. But you know, I love a challenge, and I do feel like things happen for a reason. And maybe, you know, the path of this prep and how it ended and how it kind of all come together has brought me to doing this, because realistically, like, I haven't trained my legs a lot, and my quads have still grown like quite a bit. So yeah, I'll stick some pictures up of where we're at now. And then yeah, I'll update you when I get training and stuff. But I just wanted to get this off my chest, because I have been sat on it for a week or so now, and yeah, I just wanted to voice it and update you all, for anybody who gives a shit. But yeah, that is where we're at. No more shows, back into off season with a new direction, and we're still on the egg whites. So yeah, peace out. Thanks for watching.